mean absolutely nothing, but like, you know, he looks fresher, he looks more up for it. Sometimes in the World Final, it's over 2 days, 4 long sessions. Sometimes the first day, you can be like treading water a little bit. You just think, you know, you can't see the end in sight. Today, obviously, they can see the end in sight, so it's like, okay, we've got to do something, we've got to switch on now. Both players seem more alert, more up for it today.
Maybe it was mental fatigue after what they went through with those wonderful semi-finals, Steve. I mean, great for the viewing public, great for us, but for players, I mean, it was like torture at one stage.
It was really tough, and, you know, Ronnie was struggling by the end of the night, and Kyron had sort of got back and had his moment later on. But I think, you know, coming out today, they probably both had reasserted the resolve they need, and sort of had a talking to in the morning, saying, right, OK, big push to now, go for it.
OK, back we go to John. Okay.
Yeah, still fascinating part of this match. Kyron's long game is absolutely firing, which is always good because he can create his own chances. And you've just got to stay positive. You're in that chair, say, if you're going to miss, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to clear up. And you have to have that inner belief, or you won't be winning that wonderful trophy.
Not a bad break off, covering the red down this right hand side table into this bottom right hand corner pocket. So Ronnie, when playing the safety shot, he's got to avoid that red on the right hand side. And he's got to try and cover it because he knows how good Kyron Wilson's long ball game is. Now he's cut it, just touched it, just managed to still get it back the balk, and he'd be happy with that. He has left this red. Wow, this would be a tough one to take on.
If your long game was working as good as that, would you refuse it?
No, definitely not. He's 2 out of 2 so far, and he's pretty good at this shot. Playing it with, well, he can either hold a cue ball or play it off 2 cushions. So straight with his cue action. Just spotted something in the crowd there.
Yeah, something he hasn't had to do for the best part of 10 days. Have a distraction from the audience. Oh, that was close, but unfortunately they don't give you anything for that.
Probably thought that was in the minute he hit it. Looked good as he left this red into the left centre pocket. There's a red at the bottom of the pack as well, but I think it's the red into the left centre. Nicely on the black if he gets it.
One.
Yeah, nice shot. And he's got a nice angle. He can go into the little bunch of reds directly above the black. He'll still be on the red to the right corner. Doesn't have to hit it with pace. Just a delicate little stun. Yeah, perfect. And this is where Ronnie O'Sullivan is at his imperial best.
8. Nine.
Don't you even think of calling a maximum, by the way.
Well, you never know with Ronnie O'Sullivan, I'm sure. The frame is of paramount importance for us, but that's 2 reds, 2 blacks.
16. 17.
And he's got another 3 or 4 reds in the open there for another 3 or 4 blacks. But at this stage,
Frank.
once again, there's something in the audience. I was just going to say at this stage, frame is much more important.
Yeah, it was
24.
much more important to John Higgins the other day as well when he played Kurt Mafflin, but he went ahead, seized the chance and made that 147, the first one that we've had for 8 years at the Crucible. Worth a couple of bob, Ken, as well, it was.
Yeah, 15,000 for the highest break and an extra bonus of 40,000 from the title sponsors, Betfred. This red left of the pink goes into the right centre. And if he screws
32.
back for black here, he needs an angle when potting this red on the black.
33.
Maybe one loose red. The red above the black to the left, maybe pottable into the right corner. Yeah, nicely on it. And he'll go down for black again. And this is where he needs a nice angle, John.
40. 41.
Now, needs a good split. Blessed with wonderful cue par. It's not ideal pack, but always need a little bit of luck here. Yeah, wasn't ideal, unfortunately. That's end of break.
48.
Yeah, he was desperately seeing if that red on the right-hand side could be potted up into the yellow pocket, but he's not on it, as we see the attempted split. It does look like end of break.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 48.
Yeah, hit the wrong red on that break. And tried to split the reds. Didn't get any screw on the cue ball. So has to settle for a 48 break. May be able to play a little snooker here. Corey Wilson can drop the cue ball right behind the blue. Yeah. Very, very good indeed. Okay, would it really need to get tighter to the blue to stop Ronnie O'Sullivan coming off two cushions and nestling into this pack. And you just got to be careful here. Don't want to hit it too hard and try and knock a red into play. Yeah, judged nicely. Good shot.
It's touching ball with this red.
Yeah, you can see there just on the very last moment of that cue ball, it's touching that red, so play away. Yep, that's the one it's touching. Yep.
Well, if you can get the cue ball somewhere down the left-hand side of the table here, John, you know, beside the yellow, he will block all the reds down this left-hand side. And he could put Ronnie in a little bit of trouble. Okay, the pack is quite tight, so Ronnie would still have the two cushion escape, but try and get distance with this cue ball. Somewhere in the balk area down behind the yellow will do. Needs to travel. But he's got the pink there as a blocker as well. So the reds will be blocked down this left-hand side of the table. That's pretty good.
He was originally going to play the red that's next to the pink. Push up and down, I think, but decided to come off the two cushions, as Ken mentioned.
Foul and a miss. Karen Wilson, 4. Yeah.
Don't know whether he thought about the double there, maybe it would have been a shot to nothing.
Yep. Karen.
Highly unlikely to be left anything here. Kyron, we just expecting to be playing a safety shot.
Not touching this time, so he's going to have to play the red, but once again, try and get the cue ball down that left-hand side of the table if it's possible. Maybe not this time. Well, that's one way of getting down the left-hand side of the table.
And playing the snooker.
Didn't see that one.
I can't believe you never sussed that. You thought, everyone told me you were a good tactical player, Ken. Amazing. Can happen. But once again, just pack is just too tight.
Now, I wonder, is the possibility of the... Well, maybe not. He's having a look at the red into the left centre pocket. Well, that would be very risky.
Well, he's having a look to see if that one will go in the middle, but even if it did, you'd have a job getting out of the pack. You have to put in so much force. I suppose there's a little pathway there, not like the opening of the Red Sea if it goes through there.
One.
Pretty good. And what a shot he's played there. Well, have a look at the gap he's got through those 5 reds. Have a look at this. Just enough. Wow. Excellent shot.
Oh, so much for me saying you won't be leaving anything gone. Couldn't see how he was possibly going to get a chance from that with the pack being so tight, but there you go.
7.
And a good chance too.
Eight.
Failed in the last frame in his attempt to mount a counter clearance. So important, these frames. You've got to win them if you want to be world champion. You've got to try and pinch them when you haven't looked like winning one.
Yeah, important times already in this final for Corin Wilson. A little bit short of pace, so he's going to have to pot this and go through the pack with the cue ball and still be on the black. And that's nicely played.
16.
Brought those reds into play and it was nicely judged. Love those slow-mo camera shots. Shows the cue ball and reds bouncing around the table. Couldn't hold for the 2 reds into the right corner, so he's going to have to take this red into the left
23.
corner.
Yeah, I don't know whether he tried to play a little cannon there. And the 2 reds that were near the pink spot and didn't get enough side on it, but I fancy him knocking this in.
24.
Once again, though, cue ball a little awry. Definitely his Achilles heel, unfortunately. Every chance he's going to knock it in, but really did need that cue ball the other side of the blue.
So another good pot needed here for Corin Wilson and a good position
29.
on his next colour. So proficient with this particular type of shot, and he looked very sharp already with the couple of long pots he's knocked in. Don't expect him to miss this, but he's got to get top side of the blue. Oh, I didn't expect him to miss it at all, but there was a bit of pressure on it.
29.
No, this is the point I'm making, and it seems like I'm harbouring on about it, but he's under the most pressure he's ever going to be under playing snooker is in the world final. And that's why the importance of the cue ball control is absolutely paramount. I mean, he should have really been behind that in a shot you couldn't miss.
One.
If you keep giving yourself too much to do, you will come unstuck.
Yeah, just could have been a lot easier, that red. Ronnie hasn't played the best shot there. Okay, he's on the green. To left middle, that might be a little bit straight. He's on the brown. Well, he's got a slight angle on the green, so he can get up to these reds above the black. .19 points in the lead, so
4.
these 3 reds around the black should do. Won't need that red close to the right hand side cushion.
Noticeable thing, Ken, of course, is he's not really having to work for his opportunities, is he? You know, he's last 2 frames, it's been because Kyron's missed. He's spotted one
13.
good mid-range red where he dragged it in, but other than that, he hasn't had to knock a long ball to get in. His opponent's been giving him table time. And when he's close in, he's as good as anybody.
Yeah, he certainly is.
20.
There's a different look to Ronnie
21.
O'Sullivan. It's quite evident already this afternoon. He looks really up for it today.
Yeah. And not just the evidence of cold steel on his face either, having a shave today. He just looks better in his whole demeanour.
28.
The 2 frames really, if Kyron Wilson's
29.
going to win this World Championship, he had to win at least one of them, I feel. Can't keep having half chances against this fella and not taking them, because he'll come second best.
Yeah, and any other day, Kyron Wilson could have won all 3 opening frames. But he's lost 2 of them now. He's got to score a bit heavier.
39.
Ronnie's body language at
43.
times last night didn't look good, sending out the wrong signals, but today he's sending out all the right vibes to his opponent.
48.
This is a beautiful shot, lots of
54.
left-hand side, down for the black. Yeah, the black goes in. Ronnie O'Sullivan puts another frame on the board as Curran gives him a glaring stare as he walks back to the chair. He now leads Kyron Wilson by 12 frames to 8.
And you get the feeling that is a key frame of snooker. 2 pundits in the studio raring to go with some analysis. Steve?
Well, yeah, Kyron Wilson has just given Ronnie O'Sullivan the green light to go ahead and win this at a canter. It involves a positional shot that Kyron Wilson at this level should have played on the black. It wasn't the easiest shot in the world, but he had to play a cannon on the 2 reds by the pink. He basically dotted the red in, sacrificed any type of a position, and all of a sudden left himself at distance a red that then went wrong. OK, it was a thinner cut than maybe it looked, but he had to commit to the proper positional shot. And by doing that, Ronnie O'Sullivan knows that he's not in the same league. Kyron's not in the same league as him in the positional sense. Kyron's potted every ball, isn't he, Stephen? Yeah.
In a way, it's you know, it's a kind of almost an amateurish shot to play. That you're just making sure of the black to leave yourself a pot at a red, where either potting the black dead weight or just a little bit aside, just to keep the cue ball tight on the 2 easy reds, just makes things a lot easier. And consequently, the next red, he loses position in the blue, forces to play a red from distance, misses, and hands the frame to